David Knight Show. Infowars.com/show.
Welcome back. Joining us now is Gerald Celente. We're going to take a look at the economic havoc that Gerald has pointed out was really baked into the system with this bubble that was created after 2008. And now it is hitting with a vengeance. Again, you can find Gerald Celente at trendsresearch.com. You can get a sample of his excellent journal, Trends Journal, there if you go to the website, trendsresearch.com. You can also find Gerald on Twitter at Gerald Celente. Thank you for joining us, Gerald.
Oh, thanks for having me on, David.
Well, things are kind of crazy. I don't know where the market is today. You can catch us up on the market. Yesterday, we lost 1,400 points. We went down into an official bear market, official recession, because the day before it was down 19% from its previous high. The official definition of recession is when it goes down 20%. So it's now into a bear market. What's it doing today?
Oh, it's down again. It was just about 2,000 points before I came on.
Whoa.
So
whoa.
Yeah, this is insanity. And
Yeah.
as you well know, it was on the David Knight Show almost about a year ago that I had forecast the Greatest Depression.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. People go back and look at the archives. Yeah.
And I said it wouldn't happen until 2021. Well, guess what? The Greatest Depression has begun. What's going on with the equity markets around the world is something I've never seen in my life before. You mentioned that we're now in a bear market. Get ready for a double bear. This thing could go down another 20%.
Wow.
They don't have enough money, even in the fake money that they're printing with the plunge protection teams and the other state teams that go in to try to pop up the markets when they're sliding down around the world. They don't have enough to bring this back. This is something I've never seen in my life before.
Yeah.
Businesses around the world are being destroyed. The biggest issue to me on this is how the world has just become a police state.
Yes. Yes. That's how I began the show. I said, do you understand what we're being conditioned? Regardless of what happens at this point, this is a test to see if people are going to accept this kind of conditioning. And I think we're not doing too well on this. I mean, people are begging for the government to do something. I see publications like Breitbart talking about how we need to have universal basic income. We need to have free health care for everybody. We need, welfare for everyone, and we're going to all stop working. This is the austerity program that they wanted to introduce and have us all accept by 2030. And this is the vehicle to advance that one way or the other, isn't it?
Yes, and look what's going on in Italy. Guess what? They have a new Mussolini. Just as an Italian, I'm ashamed of these people.
Yeah.
Don't kiss anybody on the cheek. Stand 1 meter away. Who made up this crap?
Yeah.
They closed down the entire country. There's nothing, there's no data, no past research to show that this is going to work. Oh, 600 people died in Italy. Oh, yeah. Italy has the oldest population in Europe. Who's dying? Elderly people. How many people died in the United States? Oh, about 30 out of a population of 327 million people. Where did they die mostly from? Oh, Kirkland, Washington. Yeah, they were old age homes that people were chronically ill. The chronically ill elderly are dying. It's a flu. It's not, stop the presses, stop the presses. They just got one case in Turkey. I just saw it. One case in Turkey, 80 million people. Hey, how about all those Syrian refugees, huh? Forget about them. Forget about the 500,000 that are dead. Hey, how about the Ebola crisis over there in Yemen? Oh, how about the cholera crisis in Yemen? Who cares about a Yemen? Oh, I'm the governor of Maryland. We got 3 cases. 3 cases. How many people got shot in Baltimore last night?
That's right. That's right. And we've talked many times about Madeleine Albright being questioned, and, you starved 500,000 Iraqi kids with your sanctions. She doesn't even have the decency to say, well, it wasn't that many. She said, yeah, it was worth it. And yet, when you look at this, everybody's got to panic. Gerald, when we talk about Italy, think about the fact that people say, well, look at this. This shows how serious it is because they shut the entire country down. It's like, that doesn't prove that it's serious. It just proves that these people are dictators. They're following the lead of China, and China is always the beta test for these globalist, dictatorial, authoritarian policies.
We got this little guy over here, Cuomo, the mayor in New York. Another boy born on third base and thought he had a home run, like his little brother Chris on the Cartoon News Network, CNN. The guys, they'd be nobody if Daddy wasn't Mario Cuomo. Last week, I did it in our Trends Journal before it, just as it was happening. Last week, he put in there that he could now declare a state of emergency anytime he wants. Guess what? 3 days later, he declared a state of emergency. They sent the National Guard to New Rochelle, New York. Oh, the National Guard knows what they're doing. Oh, they're brilliant at this stuff. And people are
and it's not just New York, Gerald. It's now Connecticut, it's Massachusetts, all these northeastern states that have been pushing mandatory vaccines that have absolutely no respect for individual liberty. They're all declaring martial law now over this.
And the people are buying it.
Yeah.
People are buying it. So you talk about Italy. The example is how gutless the people are to take this crap. The guy's name was it Prime Minister Conte? I think they should get that O out of there and put a U in there, because that's who he is. And that's what the people have become. Who are they to make up these laws and rules? It's not proving anything. They're destroying the global economy at a level I've never seen before. Oh, and by the way...
Exactly. I've never seen anything like this. It's amazing. I mean, we're going down like 10% a day practically. We had, everybody was freaked out on Monday. It went down like 7.5%. Today it's down 8.5%. We had one day where it recovered somewhat, but, we're down now this far. I mean, how far? Do you remember how far it went down with the 1929 crash? What was the percentage that it went down?
Well, I know that in the 87 crash, it went down about 22%. Mm-hmm. But this is different because the markets crashed, but they didn't, the airlines weren't empty. The cruise ships didn't stop sailing. Restaurants weren't empty. Look at the news. Seattle's a dead town. It's dead everywhere I go. My friends in New York, every place, it's dead. It's dead. They destroyed business at a level we've never seen before by selling fear and hysteria.
And they're mandating, like you point out, it's not just stock market panic. They are just shutting it down and saying, you're not going to get out on the streets. And this is what I'm concerned about, Gerald. And I said this at the beginning of the program. I said, I'm concerned that they're going to lock everybody down in place. And they're going to have us hunker down in fear until they get their vaccine ready. And then they'll say, all right, now you can come out and you can go back to work and you can go back to school and you can travel and so forth if you get our vaccine. Otherwise, you're going to stay locked down, because that's what these same states that have been pushing, enacting martial law, they've been pushing this for flu and for measles and so forth. But they needed a new disease that nobody had experienced so they could panic everybody, didn't they?
I agree. I was supposed to go to Dallas next week. I canceled the flight. Not because I'm afraid to fly. I'm afraid that I got some little freak that after they fill me up, they're going to go like this and say, get this guy out of here, put him in a quarantine concentration camp.
Exactly. That's what I've told my wife. I said, I had business report. Well, I was going to take a trip, do some reporting. I said, look, I'm not afraid of the disease. I'm afraid of getting stuck in another state, quarantined in a FEMA camp, or being stuck in another country and not being able to get out.
Exactly. And that's what they're doing. Look what you got people coming back on a cruise. Yeah, they're met by the military. Isn't that wonderful? And then they just send off to these quarantine concentration camps. And you're 100% right. They're going to force the people to get vaccinated. They're going to force us to get vaccinated, or else they'll keep us in quarantine.
But you know what? They're not stopping, Gerald. They're not stopping the massive military operation, Defender 20 or whatever they call it, in Italy and elsewhere in Europe. As we say, we're not going to let anybody fly in from Italy starting tomorrow night, but we're going to fly 30,000 troops over there without face masks or anything because, that's what's important. We got to have a drill. We've got to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back with Gerald Celente. Stay with us. All right, we're talking to Gerald Celente, and of course you can find him on Twitter at Gerald Celente. Go to his website, trendsresearch.com, and there you can see Trends Journal, an excellent publication. You can get a free sample of that at trendsresearch.com. Gerald, I've been looking in amazement for the longest period of time. It's like, what are these people talking about? When you look at climate stuff, right? They've been going in and shutting down, deliberately banning and shutting down one of the primary core drivers of the economy, automobile manufacturing in Germany. They're trying to do it here in America. And we keep hearing from all of these climate alarmists, we're all going to die. We're all going to die. And we got to shut this down. And not enough is being done. And now you've got conservatives and libertarians screaming the same thing about the coronavirus. We've got to shut everything down because we're all going to. This is pushing this kind of suicidal austerity, self-imposed austerity that is suicidal in its nature, pushing this on everybody. Even the people now who don't believe in the green fairy dust stories, fairy tales, are now buying into this. We're going to die if we don't shut down everything. It looks to me like this is what this is about, in my opinion.
Again, let's look at the numbers. What do they say about 4,500, 4,300 people dead in the world?
That's right.
I'm not good at math. How many people are in the world? But 7.7 billion?
Yeah.
And what percent is 4,000 of 7.7 billion?
I don't know. You got a lot of zeros in there, though.
You got a lot of zeros. You probably got enough zeros to go from New York to California over here.
That's
all right, now 18,000 people died already of the flu this year in the United States. So what are we talking about? We're talking about nothing. Could this thing be more deadly than the flu? Yeah, fine. But how many people are dying out of a population? And again, in America, 30 people dead out of 327 million.
That's right.
And oh, by the way, hey, you folks in Flint, how's that water? You like to drink it? Oh, it's not doing anything. It's really making you healthy. Don't you love those artificial flavors and artificial colors and all that food? Don't you like those pesticides and GMOs? They're great for you. They're not killing anybody.
That's right. Yeah, we talk about don't dump the fluoride in the water, and they say, you crazy you're paranoid conspiracy theorists. And yet they're the ones that are going to shut down by mandate all economic activity just like that. Because like you pointed out, a couple hundred people, they say, have died from this, people who had health issues to start with in rest homes and so forth. And it is a tiny number of even the smallest number. I've seen the CDC's figures, 18,000 to 46,000. They don't even know. And yet, even by their best case scenario, this is a teeny tiny fraction.
Exactly. And the hysteria is being sold. I've never seen anything like it in my life. It is destroying humanity.
That's
in
right.
terms of liberty, love, joy, and beauty. It's gone. Do you know what the cover was of our Trends Journal? Not this week, but the last week. Coronavirus 9/11.
Yes.
Spreading terror.
That's exactly what it is, Gerald. As a matter of fact, I talked at the beginning of the program. I said, this airline official said, this is going to be worse than 9/11 for the airline industry. I said, it's going to be worse than 9/11 for our freedoms and for the economy. This is not something that we're going to get past, because this is part of building getting us accustomed to this in the same way that we're now accustomed to seeing the militarized police going down the street. We don't even think twice about that. You're going to get accustomed to quarantine and having to prove that you're all vaccinated up before you can engage in anything.
With the exception of one or two people, virtually everyone I know, it believes in what they're being told. And I even have people telling me, again, people, for example, that hate Trump. They're our elected leaders, and we should listen to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. When we look at Trump. Yeah, when we look at Trump, he's talking about, well, let's give people a little bit of a break and let's give them a tax. That isn't going to do any good if you feed the panic and if you accept this because of the pressure. Everybody's putting pressure on Trump, saying he's not doing enough. He's not doing enough. All right, I'll stop people from flying in from Europe, and I'll shut everything down. But then I'll give people tax breaks or whatever. That's not going to help. No. Yeah, and again, the point that I'm making, though, about people that are now saying that hate politicians, that we should be listening to our politicians. That's right.
Did you see the one with Angela Merkel? I mean, take a look at what Angela Merkel looks like. The picture of health. She came out and said 70% of the Germans are going to catch this disease. She knows. She's an expert in this. She is the top of the top.
Yeah.
You got one slimy politician after another telling people what to do. The town was empty over here last night. I go to the place next to me, and one of the waiters said to me, Yeah, she knows, right? Look at Angela Merkel. She's a pro. Look at that. Look at that life in. I mean, 70% of the Germans. Oh, what do they got? 3 people dead. 3 people dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at Richard Hatchett, right? This is a guy who was with the Bush administration and pushing the Patriot Act, administering all that stuff. And he's the one out there saying, this is like war. And he's also saying, our weakness here is we need to have centralized command and control like they do in China. And it's like, well, wait a minute. How can you sell that to people when you say that it got out of control in China? China didn't handle this with a centralized command and control. So why are we going to follow their lead? If it didn't work in China, it's not going to work here. But these people want what they've got in China. That's exactly what they want.
You got it. It's the police state.
Yes.
The coronavirus is the new police state. Again, I was mentioning, so I go out, the place is empty. And one of the waiters said to me, well, the comptroller of Ulster County is telling people to stay home. Who is this person to say this?
Yeah.
There's another restaurant. Restaurants are empty everywhere. I have friends that do business in the city. Of his 15 clients, only 2 are buying products. Every place else, they're empty. They're empty. The police state, this is coronavirus. The people are now accepting the dictates from the politicians. Could you imagine this?
Yeah, I know. And even conservatives are running around with their hair on fire shouting, we're all going to die just like AOC. I mean, in just a week or so. Can you imagine as they drag this out what it's going to be like? I mean, it's only going to get much, much worse, isn't it, Gerald?
I'm telling you, the greatest depression has begun. And by the way, you're seeing gold prices tank. You know why?
Yeah.
Because they're pulling the money out of everything. And they're pulling the money out to cover their losses. They were making a lot of money in gold. And now the thing is, yesterday they got to cover their losses. They're getting out of gold. But go back to 2007, 2008. Gold prices were way down as the Great Recession was just beginning. They didn't start spiking till 2009 when everybody started getting hip to it. So that's you're going to see the same thing going on now. Again, I don't give financial advice, but friends have asked me, should I buy gold? They asked me this last week. I said, no. I said, wait. Because I knew it was going to happen. So now there's a state of hysteria that I've never, ever witnessed in my life. And again, what brings this market crash different than all of the others is because all of the other businesses that have gone down. Don't go to the concert. Oh, could you believe the stupidity of this one? These moronic late night TV shows. They're not having audiences. They're not having audiences. What did the NBA just close down? There's no more NBA. Right? Where something happened where they're not having, you can't go to a stadium.
It's actually going to be good for the late night shows because now they'll have more laughs. They can put a laugh track in there, right?
Yeah. Another laugh track over the other laugh track. And again, because it's all a joke. So here's what's going to happen. Now hear this. Now they're going to say when this thing turns out that not that many people died, you know what they're going to say? You see? What we did was right.
We saved you.
We saved you.
That's right. It's exactly what we're saying with the other stuff. It's like, see, it's dangerous because Italy and China have shut down the entire country, so we know it's dangerous. And then, as you pointed out, Gerald, when it blows over, they say, see, we saved you.
We saved you. Yeah.
Oh, man, I tell you, that's where we are right now.
It's scary, more rights to take more rights away from us.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
The people are cowards. They're cowards. Again, as an Italian, I'm ashamed of them.
As an American, I'm ashamed of them as well. I'm ashamed of the Americans because the same thing is happening here.
Yeah.
It's just, I've never seen anything like it.
There's no fight. There's no fight.
Yeah.
Oh, you should see the hate mail I'm getting. Oh, how could I say this? How come I don't support it? Don't I know how dangerous it is? Yeah, I know how dangerous it is. I look at the data. Nobody's dying.
Yeah, I tell you what, governments have killed far more people than any disease ever has. And many people never even learned the lesson of what happened with Mao. I mean, he starved 50 million Chinese. There was no reason for it whatsoever. That's just centralized command and control. Well, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us, Gerald Celente. And you can find him at trendsresearch.com. And, folks, you can find products to prepare yourself to weather this storm. We don't know what they're going to do. And you need to maintain your freedom and independence. InfoWarsStore.com. Many products to support your health and to get storable food.
Without the freedom to offend, There is no free speech. It's the David Knight Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, InfoWars sponsor and InfoWarsStore.com has high-quality storable food at the lowest price you're going to find, and they've not raised prices yet. But they're up to 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks for delivery, depending on the item. They're under-promising, over-delivering. But everybody else has been sold out for a month. We told you about the FEMA emergency first. We told you about the cover-up first. Whether this virus is super deadly or not, they're using the crisis that has come with it to take over and have power and control. Trump is not trying to do that. But there's no doubt that everyone I talk to, including myself, I'm not trying to cough here on air to like illustrate this. I can't stop. I talked to Tyler Nixon during the break, Roger Stone's lawyer. He hadn't been sick in years. He has pneumonia. He's super sick right now. Flew back from D.C. Everybody I know that's flown is super sick. That's what Steve Pachinik said a month ago. He said it's already all over the U.S. That's confirmed now. It's race-specific, though. It mainly kills Asians. Well, that's still a problem. It's still sad. We care about them. But it's the globalists launching this. It's man-made right now. That's why you've got to be concerned. So check that checklist off to get high-quality storable food. The only place you're going to get it at 5 times less than store cost, because they mark it up, is InfoWarsStore.com. And if I lied to you and said, oh, it's 7 days delivery, we'd have 5 times the orders, but I won't do it. The truth is, it's about 4-week delivery, they told me. They said, don't say that on air because people get mad, but most of our stuff's 4 weeks, but some of it's 6, 7 weeks with specialty items, so don't tell them that. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you. But on the corporate contract, 6 to 8 weeks, InfoWarsStore.com. We've got all the other great items, DNA Force Plus, X2. Boosting your immune system is just as important as having storable foods. For economic collapse, for war, for whatever. It lasts 25 years. With inflation, you buy it, it locks in the cost, save money that way. It's a great investment, and it funds the InfoWar. Take action, InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139.